Going to make the best start down the middle of the order. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 abreast. Sandy Mitchell getting on the grass in his Lamborghini for Barwell Motorsport. It looks so Kessel just about prevailed, but trying to go through the middle fleetingly was Lucas Auer. Kessel, front 3 cars, front 4 cars running grid position. Marvin Dietz is off into the neighbouring county. He'll rejoin in that Aquarine Winwood Racing Mercedes. He's gained quite a few positions and looking to, well, several cars rally crossing. You have no grip on the grass. Oh dear, 2, 3 abreast. But now let's see, we've got a couple of cars, 3, 4 cars off behind. It was Domino's. Hold on, looking to see it's the number 32 car. No, it's the Paradigm car. It's a yellow sector, you can say that again. And there we are, Sandy Mitchell, such a good start for him. Oh, carrying a McLaren's bodywork on the front of the Ferrari, and I'm afraid Bedlam is what occurred on the opening lap. For the first 2 rows, it got very tight, but they carried on in their starting order. For those behind, certainly not the case. Waiting for any other signals. There's going to be quite a bit of debris to clear up, but at this point, it's green for these runners. The CSA Racing McLaren's gone flying forward. That's gone from about 11th position for Simon Gachet up to about 4th. But for Dennis Marshall, started on pole position, safety car. There is absolutely no surprise that's called out between the tail of his Ferrari and the best of the rest. It's still Bastien Boost. Fleming nearly made it work. And look at Thierry Vermeulen. He's moving. He's trying to go around the outside. Does go around the outside of Simon Gachet. Tip-top move on a circuit that has very short straights, but he was committed and he stuck to his guns.
He asked a massive question to Gachet there. Are you going to leave me room? And he really squeezed it. He's fired up. Red Bull running through his veins. Super aggressive. Great move. Now Gachet on the back foot. Engsler trying to get down the inside. They're in the championship hunt. Got another yellow flag in sector 1. Let's keep our eyes on this battle. I think Gachet is kind of out of position. He had a good start, but hasn't got the pace at the moment to stay in 5th place. He'll want to just steady the ship, but he doesn't look to have great pace. Vermeulen is the car on the move as he's having to defend now from Klingman. Klingman will know the championship is there, and that will make it easier for him to ask the question, can he go for the cutback? Auer still defending hard here. He feels that the car is going to come to him, and it's worth defending, losing time. That's hung Klingman up. Feller down the inside now in that Lion Speed Porsche. This is not what Winwood would want. This is a pressure point, and somewhere the pressure has to be released.
Right, top 5 in the class is there on the screen. So Luca Engsler top in the pro class. He's running in 5th, 6th position overall. Gold, Tom Fleming running in 3rd. Silver, Kobe Powell's, he's 12th overall, but he's only 1 position over championship rival Cesar Gazot. That's tightest. But for Marshall and Boost running 1st and 2nd, here they are, the Ferrari ahead of the Porsche. They can see precisely where they are. They didn't have to have the ramification of where anyone else is sitting. Right, as it stands, prediction in the gold class came here with a small advantage. Chris Lullum and Thierry Vermeulen. Vermeulen's got them up to 4th place. They're just expanding that over Louis Pret.
To pit out as we see the 97 car. That isn't our championship car. Don't get excited, Joe. That is Ethan Perez. Looks like he's been turned around at turn number 2.
Certainly does. Not the first in this race, but right now, well, let's take a look at the replay. He was on the outside and on the charge. Eddie Cheever up the inside, and I'm afraid push did come to shove. Ishan trying to get it going, running right across, I think it was a QMF Audi, but riding on board. Here's a replay.
Let's see.
One Rutronic Porsche being followed very hard by the Ferrari.
Pictures are going to say for themselves who's at fault. I might stay impartial on that one and let everyone at home decide who was at fault, but expect a penalty for the 93 Eddie Chief and punches at lunchtime, and that's what at the moment Engsler's trying to do on Gachet. Around the outside at 8 here doesn't normally work. He's going to then try and get the cutback. Gachet parks it well as he stopped the run. I think here's just Engsler is trying to look to the inside. He's going to have to tuck in. Dertier's a problem here through 12. This is the threading of the needle with oven gloves. 150, 160, flat through 13. Is he going to send it to the inside? There is a gap. Is he going to try and brake late? The problem is the car gravitates to the right, gets it done. Can he stop it on the apex? It is a no, and it's going to be an undercut for Gachet. This is letting Auer get involved, but he's in an awkward place where he's going to trip over. Expect the McLaren to reclaim this position into turn 1.
Hublinks first down, and is down the start finish straight to the first corner, but it's the McLaren on the inside, and Luca Engsler, don't forget, already a race winner, and he pulls in front. I think that was actually quite sensible from Gachet, and look how quickly he's getting clear. I think that was a little message coming through, you know, I'm going to get past you come what may, and Luca Engsler was trying high, he was trying low, and then in behind, well, it's everyone else. Gosh, the handling of that Mercedes in the middle of that pack, it's looking as though he's going around the outside of a very old coin that had 13 sides, but certainly chunk around the corner. Stuck in behind Gachet, but look, Klingman bang on his tail, Feller, woof, and then Leclerc right on his tail too. Very tight.
Looking into my crystal ball, this is why GT racing is a team sport. This is going to be a pit road race this lap, as we're potentially going to get a full course yellow. The 11 car there, the come to you Aston Martin off in the gravel trap, and this is the race I'm expecting. Don't worry about the flame out the exhaust there, but that's got to be a full course yellow for that car stuck on the exit of T8, T9 area.
Yeah, that's Rodrigo Almeida, was having his first start in a sprint cut race, and you can never tell from that. Did he jump? Was he pushed? But anyhow, off the circuit. Now coming into the pits. Oh, the Ferrari coming in. This really tight battle on track, and we've only had Klingman with a shorter BMW there, is certainly tucking in behind. You talked about a race into the pit lane, and that very much nearly came unstuck there for Arthur Leclerc.
Yep, 4 tyres getting changed, 18 seconds. There's the 21 Kobe Powells. They're released. They could stop a lap earlier. CSA have done a good stop. Everyone's got to go in clean. You can see Vermeulen there. They've jumped in front of Garage 59. Great stop from Emil Frey. Thomas Vermeulen has been, very critical of that team. But is that a relatively quick stop as well for Winward? They've jumped in front of the McLaren. Slow stop for WRT. The Almanar car has dropped back now with Al Faisal Al Zubair in. Great stop. This is going to be championship lead getting closer for this car.
And importantly for Maro Engel, as he takes over the number 48 Mercedes, they gained a position ahead of the CSA Racing McLaren, and that was music to their ears. That's what we've been trying to do for lap after lap. We've got the 4 different races embedded together. He's only got 1 race, and that is to score as many points as he can in the pro class, and he's going on towards doing that, I'd suggest.
Yeah, and this is where the undercut is strong. So now they've got fresh tyres. Maro Engel in that car is going to have to pump some laps in. This car, race leader, by my bad mathematics supported by ChatGPT, is going to lose around 6 seconds with the extended pit stop time he will have handing over. But it's going to be close between Dustin Blattner when he takes over the 74 versus Engel. But Engel will have the pace over the bronze driver, of course, as this gold battle rages on.
Bump over the curbs wide, just about hauls it back in. In second place, in behind him is Louis Pret in the McLaren, looking for the next in the line. Yep, it's the blue and white Lamborghini. Full course yellow. I thought the pace was suddenly dropped. He's in 3rd overall in his Grasso Lamborghini. Then and 4th place overall. There is the proof that Maro Engel, remember that Mercedes dropped to 7th place on the track before the pit stops. They've worked that very nicely, of course, helped by the bronze class cars that were 1st and 2nd taking longer pit stops. And the fact that as soon as he got out of the pits, cracked in the fastest lap of the race, fuel load getting lighter, him pressing on, looking really strong.
There's something to add. Jeopardy for the 69. Chris Lowham did the fastest lap of the race on his outlap. What was on his outlap? The yellow flag for that 11 car. Hard one, because you can't improve your sector time, but he didn't improve his. We go back to green. That was quick, and that's what we thought Neubauer was lining up, and he's gone. And so's Blattner. This is a great restart from Blattner over the CSA McLaren.
Yeah, the CSA McLaren not looking particularly hooked up. You said the Ferrari was getting busy. He's already picked off the Aston Martin of Jamie Day and now Dustin Blattner as well. In some ways, he's slightly irrelevant there. He had nothing to lose. But Blattner leading the bronze class and Jamie Day leading the silver class championships. They can't afford to have any mistakes. They didn't want contact, led him through. But I just think that was a case of Thomas Neubauer going, I'm coming anyhow. Yeah,
that was a quick restart. The teams had 12 seconds of warning to get their drivers ready. And that's where the good drivers are looking at the marshals, looking at their driver display. Whatever goes green says green first. You just go on any of it. You don't really care which one. Blattner looking on the pace now. He stayed on the back of Neubauer well here through sector 3. And that's a great car to follow. Another Ferrari from a different car, AF versus Kessel. But this is what Blattner will want. You can see Al Faisal, Zubair and the Almanar car there just warming the tyres ever so slightly down the pit straight.
Right, the point you picked up on about improving best time under yellow. 14 of the runners in this field, including the race-leading Ferraris you pointed out, are under investigation for that. So there could still be a sting in the tail. There's definitely going to be some more overtaking. Such a hard track to pass on, but no one's told the drivers, which makes for fantastic television. The Rutronic Porsche being shoveled out wide. Luke Hartog at the wheel of that. Sorry, that's the 96 car. It's the
Sven Muller now, isn't it?
Yeah, Sven Muller now. Sister Porsche, of course, we saw have a spin early on with Isham Pires. That's a little bit further back, but it could be recovery times for Sven Muller. Up to 14th overall. Killy tight because Chris Lulham still leading Louis Pret. Louis, though, is just trying his best to close in, but unfortunately for him, it's going the other way. 5.4 seconds between the Verstappen Racing Ferrari leading the race and Louis Pret in the Garage 59 McLaren still having a good season. Now let's take a look at top speed overall. It's Leonardo Moncini, so an Audi. We haven't really got any Audis in the reckoning, but he's a kilometre an hour faster in his Trezor Attempter car. Wise move there from Dustin Blattner. Do not do anything to resist Al Faisal Al Zubair. The Omani racer comes through, but what he doesn't Just don't want to pick up any damage at this point in the race. Give them a little extra quarter of a car width if you must. Now, of course, Jamie Day, leading the Silver Cup Championship, is closing in onto his tail. He doesn't need to fight him. Remember, he had, what was he, I say, a 9-car margin, 10-car margin over Basha Mardini in the Bronze Cup battle. Maybe Dustin's got the pace, but he's just got to exert a bit of caution here, not get caught up in the heat at the moment.
Those 2 places, not for class, he won't be too bothered.
Yeah, what's he got? Oh dear. Oh, for Lion Speed, it looked like a fantastic race meeting. We've just lost one of their cars. Ricardo Feller started, and Gabriel Rindon, well, it looks like he's going to be able to continue, but that has lost him a whole heap of positions. And he was running, I think, 3rd in class, yellow sector, but he got going again pretty quickly, so I'm sure that will move. So 8.5 minutes left. Can we have a gold class car win outright? It's never happened before. What have we got in this race? 2 gold class cars, 1st and 2nd. Chris Lullum, 8 seconds now clear in his Ferrari, ahead of Louis Pretz. Porsche, McLaren running in 2nd place. The best of the pros is Jordan Pepper in 3rd. Sven Muller here still pressing on, and you know what? A gold class car has never won overall, so you've got to say that is going to be broken. The last sprint win for a car that wasn't a pro class car was right here, Valencia, 3 years ago, 2022, when Ulysses de Pau and Pierre-Jean Alexander managed to come through to take victory, but this is going to be a double blow for the pros. However, that's how you like it. The 4 different classes, who cares who wins? You know, we don't, we just love the racing, but for the gold class, this is going to be a real feather in their cap.
Yeah, back in 22, it was a Ferrari as well, so there's the consistency between the 2 stats there, and at the moment, Lullum still just stroking this back. Look at the gravel that's been brought on from that Lion Speed ball. That must have been a big spin for where he ended up on the exit of that corner, and did well to rejoin in a safe and efficient manner. Porsche balance looking good. That was just about legal on the track limits there for Muller, and actually no track limits whatsoever for the 96 car. They've been super clean. I'd be start using them up if I was him, just to let the car run a bit wider, carry a bit more speed, and potentially get the run on them. There's our silver class leading car. There's our silver class leading team in the background. It's been a really strong year. It's been a really strong day for Jamie Day. Kobe Powell started the race after a good qualifying. It's going their way. This could be championship and slam dunk to the car behind, which is now DNF, the number 10 Boots and VDS car.
Well, we thought some championships might be sorted in this, the penultimate race. Still got the final one of 10 tomorrow, but this one most definitely had. They came here with a tidy advantage in class, Jamie Day and Kobe Powell's, but it was only 7 points clear before this race, with the bonus point for pole, but suddenly they're so far clear, and with Gazzo and Panis unable to score, their car retired. Then it is championship done. They'll still want to have a great race tomorrow on Sunday, but it's really, really taken the pressure off. For Come To You Racing, they've really enjoyed their time with Aston Martin. Scored some great results, but this will be another one in the pot for them, surely. Right, race lead, 9 seconds clear now. Chris Lullum stroking it home, and home is almost in sight. 6 minutes remain in this race. Sato alongside me, Joe Osborne leaning back in his street seat as the pressure comes on down the start-finish straight. Is turn 1 the place to make a move? I'm not sure. What do you reckon?
I've never been so tense, I don't think, apart from when I've walked into a doctor's appointment. He's got a rubber glove on, but this is nail-biting. Pret can't make an apex, but is doing so well at carrying the speed. I think this is a chance. He's defending. It's a long way round the outside here for Pepper. Is he going to try and get the undercut? Is he just going to try and go all the way around the outside? The outside is so hard to make work. He's still there through the kink of 3. This will be the inside for 4. This is job done if he can get it stopped. Phenomenal racing from both. Can Louis Pret do anything on the exit? I don't think so. Mega clean racing. Hats off to both of them, especially Jordan Pepper, for keeping both mirrors on that Hurricane.
Don't you love a move that takes place, set up in turn 1, 2, 3, 4, all a job in progress, but he got the job done. And another 2nd place overall seems to be coming the way of the Grasser Racing team. Of course, they tasted victory at Magny-Cours, also took a 2nd at Magny-Cours. So they're really among the form crews, and they'll be the top pro crew to the finish. But here we are with 2 minutes left on the clock, and having got past, again, this fantastic drone shot, it really takes you to the racing, and to be able to see the cars from above, you can just see how dynamic they are. And at this point in the race, as you pointed out, just see how they're struggling. Oh, for Boots and VDS, a bad day has turned worse. They're challenging the Silver Cup class off. And
Chavez
Horse Motorsports, Aston Martin, up into the back of the Mercedes. Very unfortunate indeed. Oh dear, some days it's not your day. And for the Lucas Stoltz, Maxime Martin car. It seems there is no further drive.
Yeah, that must have done the drive shaft. It was a sharp hit, wasn't it? And that's what I was expecting potentially between Pepper and Pret. This won't be a concern there for Chris Lulham. Potentially, he's got such a margin in 13.5 seconds. He can actually back out of this to make sure it's the final lap. It's very tight at the moment whether this is going to be the last lap or not, but because he's got 13 seconds he could roll out. But race control haven't given us the last lap message, so I would just press on. I'm sure that is all he's thinking about, just loving every single lap. So as you can see, Stoltz has actually got the car rolling slightly faster, but that is going slow, so the drivers will need to be warned of that car going very slowly through the flat out T7.
Well, frankly, I don't want this race to end. There is incident everywhere you look, but Chris Lulham's got the job done. Surely he's managed to pull clear. Nobody close to him. He's now 13.5 seconds clear in the Verstappen.com Racing Ferrari, run by Emil Fry Racing. Nobody behind, nobody ahead. He can be cool, calm, collected. I think we're looking at history about to be made. A gold class car has never won a round of the Sprint Cup of the GT World Challenge, and it's set surely at this point to do it now.
Yeah, if he doesn't back out, he's going to cross the line with 3 to 4 seconds, which is a lot of lap to have to do for not backing out of it. He is flat out, and here goes the clock. It is going to be another lap as he crosses the line now. 4 seconds on the clock, but look at that dominance. There were 39 GT3 cars at one point on that piece of real estate. Here is the biggest winners of the championship so far.
Let's take a look at the results. Thierry Vermeulen started the race. Chris Lulham very much finished it. 14 seconds clear in the Verstappen.com Racing Ferrari from Luca Exler and the charging Jordan Pepper Grasser Racing Team Lamborghini in second place just at the end of the race, deposing Louis Pret, who shared his Garage 59 McLaren with Tom Fleming. And tucked in behind, Lucas Auer and Mauro Engel came here fourth in the overall championship, and this has closed them, their fourth place, to third in the championship, just 2 points covering the top 3 crews in the outright battle. So they had a great job, and their championship rivals all individually had disasters, and the best place of those at the end of the race was Patrick Niederhauser and Sven Muller down in 11th place, but the 2 championship leading crews ended up with 0 points apiece after disasters on the opening lap of the race. A real mix of classes and cars up and down the order here, but it was Thierry Vermeulen and Chris Lulham who had the bragging rights, and unfortunately, as you can see, quite a few DNFs at the bottom of the field, and the one I feel probably most sorry for was the Cesar Gazzo and Aurelien Pani's challengers in the Silver Cup class. Their car coasted to a halt at the side of the circuit, others possibly pulling off because of contact, most notably Charles Weerts and Kelvin van Linde, and Benji Goethe and Marvin Kirchhofer. Those 2 crews, first and second in the championship when they came here. They're still 1.5 points behind, but the point is, by coming right at the sharp end of the field, Mauro Engel and Lugi Auer have closed right in. Ifs and buts and maybes, but it was overly busy out there, and you could have replays of the replays. So much to look at through the course of just 1 hour of racing.
2:45 race start, local time coverage starting 30 minutes before qualifying as well, 9 AM local time, and it was a phenomenal qualifying session as well.
Gosh, it absolutely was. It almost seems like that was yesterday. So much has happened in the race, but the national anthems ring out.